I'm sorry I'm so late. My computer decided just to shut down twice as I was starting this evening, but I've managed to close the million apps that I had open and programs, and I'm now with you. So do bear with me. Okay. If you want to call this evening, it is Turf Talk Tuesday. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot of Brighton to talk about. You can call from a free phone number in the UK, which is 0800 058 4204. If you're in the United States of America, it's 0800. It's 08777 291 And if you're in the rest of the world, it's country code 44204 515 2251. Numbers are at the bottom of the screen should you need them. Good evening. I'm so sorry I'm late. So sorry I'm late. Okay, and I'm going to answer immediately. Good evening. You are through to Tough Talk Tuesday. You can say who you are. You don't have to, but welcome. What would you like to say?
Oh, hello. It's really great to speak to you. I'm known on Twitter as Henrietta. I wanted to say that I really wanted to go on Sunday, but next time I will definitely come along.
Well, that would be lovely.
I think the work you do is amazing. I didn't realise until about a year ago about all the issues that were going on, because it's been so underhand, the way things have been brought in legally in this country and other countries. It was actually a friend of mine who works in the NHS who started sending me through links and information.
Right.
So I started reading up. What I noticed about the demonstration yesterday was the two advisors to the Labour MPs that were harassing that man with the baby. And I felt, I know that you've been a previous Labour supporter and you were part of a women's group that got infiltrated by men claiming to be women.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that's really sort of like affected me, because I'm a lifelong Labour voter. So my question to you is, today marks 700 days until the next election could be held. So are we going to have to make this a political movement?
I think yes. If we reflect upon the glory of UKIP, and I use that wisely, meaning they had a single issue. He kind of stayed out of party politics, if you like, and made his own.
Yeah.
And whether you agree with leaving the European Union or not, it was a very, very successful campaign. And I think we probably are going to have to stand in elections just to get this on the table and being talked about.
Yeah.
So I certainly think that is a probability. I just don't see, I could not in good conscience be in any party that has ushered this through. So we've got the Conservative Party. They have been in power long enough to have stopped this madness getting into schools and getting into the NHS and obliterating all the boundaries of women. The Labour Party are just totally a lost cause on this issue, as are the Lib Dems, as are the Greens. So I guess we're going to have to stand maybe as independents or maybe as standing for women. And we're going to have to take back the conversation from the babies.
Would you lead that? Because I think you'd be brilliant.
I don't know. I thank you very much for such a kind comment. I don't know if I would lead it. I don't know at the moment. I wonder where we are most effective. But yeah, now you've asked that question, maybe I will. Watch this
I really
space.
think you should. I think you're amazing. You've got so much charisma. You can talk it, you can walk it, you look great. You the whole package.
Well, thank you very much. Wouldn't it just be the best thing ever if by some crazy I don't know what would have to happen, some crazy miracle, that somebody who knew exactly what a woman was, has been shouting about it for the last 7 years, would actually take a leadership role in this country. I think that would just be the ultimate revenge for this absolute gaslighting nonsense that we're all being put through.
Absolutely,
But Well, look, we're in London on Sunday at Hyde Park, and then I don't know where you are in the
Are you?
country. Yes.
I'm in London. I'm in London on Sunday. Right,
Okay.
that's it.
We Reformers Tree, 1 o'clock. That's where we'll be.
1 o'clock. I will come and shake your hand.
Oh, that'd be lovely. It'd be really nice to meet you. Thank you so much for calling.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Bye. Well, that kicked us off nicely, didn't it? Okay. Hi, Kellie-Jay. Can you please tell me where you got your glittery t-shirt? Well, it is one of ours, but this is our first sample. And so now we're getting them made. So this is a hoodie. And then we've got sweatshirts, we've got V-necks, and we've got round necks coming. All coming. They're all coming in. Ben Carlin, KJ should stand against Eddie Izzard. I absolutely might. I really would like to stand against Eddie Izzard. It will be quite brilliant because as I understand it, he's been given pretty much a safe seat to try and steal. So, yeah. Look, political campaigning takes cash, hard, nasty cash. Not as much as if I was going to run for a senator position or whatever in the United States, but it does take a lot of time and money and really well organized. But yeah, of course I'm going to lead the bloody campaign. I've got a mini tonic water. Now, let me just change. I forgot my amazing icon. So what did you think of Brighton, everybody? Did you enjoy it? Good evening. You are through to TERF Talk Tuesday. This is Kellie-Jay. You are welcome to say whatever you like.
Hi, Kellie-Jay again, Becca Firebird.
Hi.
I'm not going to. I don't. I always seem to get through, don't I? I just want to say, Brighton. Wow, it was fantastic. I don't want to talk about what the idiots were doing, because it's all about the women that were there. So many amazing, amazing women. I mean, you know, Maya Forstater and Helen Joyce just insisted on having a photograph with me, you know. Obviously, insert like I begged. But yeah, totally. You really couldn't do this politically. You are a leader. You are a true leader. And I'm not saying that as a fangirl thing. I can see it. You're so, because you got it. It's straight down the line. There is no compromise. And how many politicians do we have like that? We don't. We need you.
Isn't it weird though? Because I remember years ago, someone talking about Tony Benn and Anne Widdecombe and calling them conviction politicians. And you're like, surely that is not, you know, that is something that everybody, surely that's not a thing that you are either a conviction politician or you're not. I thought everybody who went into politics was a conviction politician, but clearly
I don't know. I mean, I think sometimes it's like they are speaking for their constituents, but to be voted in, you have to have the conviction to be to have the integrity of which you have in bundles. But oh my God, wouldn't that just be a coup? Eddie Izzard.
Well, I think.
But what I wanted to say on the back of Brighton, I think I said the last time I spoke, I've gone full on, you know, on Facebook, which is a personal account. It's totally a personal account. I actually had a woman I work with now who was my manager, and is now just a nurse again. She said, "What's going on? What's going on? What happened at the weekend? I'm trying to make sense of it off your photos and posts on Facebook." And I took a deep breath in the print room, and I thought, okay, 5 minutes. I got 5 minutes. And do you know what? She was absolutely in agreement. Absolutely. New granddaughter. She's like, I know there is no way my granddaughter will be brought up gender neutral. She's a girl, whatever you want to play with. And this is a woman in it's like that I thought would probably be kind. And I
Right.
really went to town, hardline, and it's once you've got that conviction, it's so easy, unless they're captured, and then you forget it.
Yeah.
But that's all I wanted to say was it is getting the word out there, and every day I get braver and stronger, and it's thanks to you. And I just got to say again, so thank you, and flipping well, go for it.
Well,
I'll
come
help
on
with
then, let's do it.
my Uyghur ways.
Well, we probably ought to do it, but it's always a pleasure to see you at these events. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and you.
Cheers.
Bye
Bye-bye.
now. Bye.
Good evening. You are through to TERF Talk Tuesday. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say? Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. You're through to
Hello.
TERF Talk Tuesday. What would you like to say?
Oh, hello. I didn't realise I was on. My name is Jane, and I just wanted to say a couple of things. Basically, that sometimes when I'm feeling really like despondent, and then you listening to a video and you say, you know, we'll win, and that has managed to really cheer me up, and I thought, right, I will do something. And then just taking your advice with carrying on and writing letters, tweeting, retweeting, just basic stuff, which anybody can do. So I'd just like to say thank you very much.
Well, you're very welcome, and thank you for all the things you do. What's the most positive response you've had from any of your emails, or the worst?
Nothing much so far. I did speak to my MP, who was fully on board. He knew the difference between sex and gender, and he was at the heart of government. I won't say which one it is, because that'll give away my location. But yes, he knew, and is in the cabinet. So and we've got some local ones who local one is in the cabinet. So hopefully our little local group will be able to start to push a bit more, because they have positions of influence, hopefully.
Yeah. And are you part of a Standing for Women local group? Because we probably do have one in your area.
I am, but it's a bit further away because there isn't a local one. So I'm in another local group, which I've come across. So that's been very useful, and it's just good to speak to women.
Yeah.
And just not have to worry about the language we use, and it's been brilliant.
I know.
So just thank you, Kellie-Jay. I watched the live stream on Sunday, and it was really good just to see how many people were there supporting and just managing to turn up. And I'm hoping to hear some of the first-hand accounts, because a couple of people went down and was there as well. So that was really good. So thank you.
Amazing. You're very, very welcome. Thank you so much for calling.
That's okay.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Do you know what I forgot to do at the beginning of the call? I forgot to ask them the qualifying questions. Poached or scrambled is one of them. Good evening. You are through to TERF Talk Tuesday. You can say who you like. Yeah, you can say you are. You don't have to. It's entirely up to you. What would you like to say?
Oh, hi. Yeah, my name's Anne-Marie. Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Hi. I can't believe I got through.
You did.
Thank you. I did. I just wanted to say I just really love the work you do. Really sorry I wasn't able to make Brighton on Sunday, but I just really enjoy your YouTube channel, and just keep up the good work.
Well, thank you very much. Do you think you'll come to an event if we come near you? Do you think you could make it? Yeah. Was it just Brighton's too far? Wrong date?
That's right. Yes. Unfortunately.
Well,
but certainly look to a future event.
Good. It'll be lovely to see you. We're London, and then we're gonna try at least once a month. I've been trying to work out with my husband where we can go, and I'm thinking that once a month I might do 2 different locations, so one on a Saturday and one on a Sunday, so we can really get across the country, because obviously for some people, travel is really damn expensive and it's far too far, and B, it's just it's something that they can't get to London. So I'm well aware that we need to move, but thank you so much for your call.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, isn't that great? Yeah, I forgot to ask, poached or scrambled? So if you're ringing, you have to have the right answer to these questions. Good evening, or good afternoon. You are through to TERF Talk Tuesday. This is Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say?
Hi, Kellie-Jay. It's Brandon Showalter from Washington, D.C.
Oh, hi, Brandon. How are you?
Doing well. I just had to give you a call. I'd never tried to call in, and I thought, what the heck? I saw you streaming, and I wanted to give you a hearty congratulations for a successful event in Brighton yesterday. I did catch part of the live stream.
Oh, thank you. So for those of you that don't know who Brandon is, Brandon writes for the Christian Post, and he has done an absolute sterling, exceptional work on exposing the medical harms, in particular to children right across the US and the globe. And he's in the new Tucker Carlson. What's that called?
It's a documentary film on Fox Nation. It's called Transgressive: The Cult of Confusion. Available now. Yeah.
Available now. Oh, it's so nice to hear from you. I am going to be in the States over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, that's great. We always love having you in the States. I just wanted to say that, I'm actually writing an ebook now on gender ideology. And one of the quotes that I've actually put in my draft was from none other than Julia Long, who talks about how the word trans is used to falsify reality. I just think she just has a way with words anyway. But, this book is going to be aimed mostly at pastors and youth. But, the truth is true no matter who says it. And so it's as true as it's coming out of a Christian like me or a lesbian feminist like Julia Long. But give her my regards if you see her. I think that it's just so brilliant that she says it so plainly. And also just want to say that you are absolutely brilliant in the Detransition Diaries by the film that's out now. I hope everybody goes and sees that because you're just wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much. I can't believe just how fat I was in January.
No, that doesn't even matter. No, it was great. But that's available. I really do hope that everybody goes and sees Jennifer Law's film on Vimeo. But yeah. I'm so glad you could be a part of it. And again, I watch you across the pond doing what you're doing. You're a force of nature. And I just, there's a lot of people here cheering you on.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It's been really lovely to talk to you. And I definitely, as soon as my plans are concrete, I will definitely let you know so that you can cook me dinner because I've seen what you serve to guests.
Well, I don't know if I can rival your husband's skills, but I'll definitely try.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Really great to talk to you. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
You bet, Kellie-Jay. Keep it up.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. And you. Bye-bye. He's done some, honestly, really, really good work. And when I went to the Heritage Foundation and I was in the hallway, rather upset after hearing the women talk about what this cult had done to their daughters. Brandon walked by and I talked to him on Facebook and stuff before, but he's about 10'7". I could be exaggerating, but yes, we do have. So if you're looking for a local group of standing for women and you know what we stand for, we don't mess around with language. We're not into true trans. We are just about directly talking and speaking to women. We're not interested in purity spirals. We don't care what else you think about anything else. We'd like you to keep any of your other opinions far away from the activism that we do because we don't feel it's helpful, as is frequently shown by women who do bring all other issues into this. It just doesn't work. It means that you don't get such an effective message out. People don't know what you're talking about, and people are too frightened to join you just in case it means that they have to tick 1 million boxes, all of their own, that match yours. So good evening. This is TERF Talk Tuesday. You are through to Kellie-Jay. And we are ahead when on the phone than you can see on YouTube. So good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
I'm so sorry. I've got you on 10-minute delay. I was just ringing up to see whether it would work. My name's Buffy. Well done for Saturday. That was brilliant. Sunday, at Brighton.
Thank you.
I've just been looking at how much it costs to stand as an MP.
Right.
£500.
Oh, is that all?
It's 500 quid.
Yeah.
And the returning officer gives you one valid mail out to the electorate. So all you need to do is get the literature together. I think you should put your flag in the sand, woman.
Well, I'm beginning to think that myself. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I will repeat what the other callers have said. You are a leader. You've got that voice. You know you've got that voice. You've got the clarity. You've got the momentum. You've got a growing support group, people behind you who help produce the literature. Even if you lose, just to be up there against the Izzard,
I know.
500 quid, maybe dedicate a few weekends to it. I mean, I know it's your time that I'm spending for you, but I think we should push you to it, Kelly.
Well, okay, fine. Let's do it. Let's stand against Eddie Izzard. Let's just do it.
Let's do it, because the thing is, it doesn't have to be the first one that is the one. It's about being in that political arena rather than a pressure arena. Where you are now, it's fantastic. Let's get into politics.
Oh, wouldn't that be just so great? I mean, we've already got a good party name. I think Standing for Women is a pretty good name for a party.
I think that's great. And not to overthink names and labels either.
No.
It's a brand. It works. You've got such a groundswell of support. You know, we can crowdfund the money. You know, we're talking, what, 500 quid for the right to stand, however many other thousands to get leaflets printed. Let's just do it.
Well, I am persuaded. I mean, look, I don't even think we need to win. We just need to make him lose votes. We just need to steal votes and direct the conversation. I think that's what we achieve.
Exactly. The thing is, they're ahead of the curve. They're the careerists. They know what it's like to be looking for electoral power. But the real power is actually standing up against them and saying, we see you.
Oh, can you? It'd just be quite interesting. I just think, because I'm so little, I think there would be nothing more visually magnificent than me stood next to it. To Eddie, as he calls himself, a woman.
Actually, it was that image that made me just phone up and find out how much it cost. I would kill to see that. I would absolutely die to see that. I'll turn up. I'll quit work for a weekend or two. It has to be done. I'll go for it. I'm so pleased those first callers. I don't even know what the last 10 minutes has been, so I'm a bit delayed on the stream, but they're saying exactly what you needed to hear after the weekend. You're phenomenal. I know you don't need people blowing smoke up your bum, but I think this is the next step for you. Thank you for being you.
Oh, well, thank you very much. What lovely compliments. Thank you very much. Let's do it then. Okay, you can come and be my returning officer.
Good. Brilliant. I'll be in touch.
All right,
fabulous.
Cheers.
Go for it, girl.
All right, bye-bye.
Cheers.
That's it then, people. That's it. Come on then. I quite fancy this idea, don't you? I think it would be quite brilliant. I really do love the idea. We direct conversation. We make people have the conversation. The question, what is a woman? I mean, can you imagine? It will just, what a great kind of little juicy little media story again and again and again it will be. And Eddie Izzard, what he brings with him is not only a grade A narcissism, but also celebrity, like big fat celebrity as well. Not just kind of, you know, he's not a man that did some stand-up 10 years ago. He's a man that gets movie roles and gets big interviews and is well known. So what he does when he puts his hat in the ring is he brings all that celebrity and relies upon it to get away with probably not being particularly honest when it comes to at least what he is. So yeah, let's do it. I think we go against Eddie Izzard. We can go against Hollywood. We can go against CNN. We can go against all these people. He's a gift, right? So let's do it. Let's do it. Where's he going to stand, do you reckon? Is it Sheffield? Oh, it would be magnificent. And obviously we'd have to be independent, or it would, we would just be standing for women. Look, anybody else want to let's do this. And I'm happy to go against Izzard. Let's find some other people to go against, some other woke crazies. Good evening. You are through to Kellie-Jay at TERF Talk Tuesday. You are allowed to say your name. You don't have to say your name. What is your comment?
Oh, hello, Kellie-Jay. I'm really surprised to get through. I'm not going to say my name, but I did want to ask you. I was disgusted. Well, kind of get disgusted with everything at the moment, don't you? Just one horrible news story after the other. But the one that really riled me in the past couple of days was seeing the vile TikTok personality. I think his name is Dylan something.
7 million
being
followers
profiled by an international conference hosted by Forbes. And I just wanted to know what your view was on very, very large corporations platforming somebody like that as a woman, and why do you think they do it, and how can we resist these it's one thing I feel resisting on a personal level, but when or locally or tweeting or writing letters, but it feels like when a huge organization, a global organization like Forbes puts weight behind somebody like this, a grown man who says they're a girl, going through girlhood, things just feel impossible. And I wondered if you had any words of wisdom for all of us who just feel like that is just the worst.
I think I can give you some words of hope. And the words of hope are that had instead of Dylan talking about sleepovers and just being completely nuts, insane, had he been a more kind of, I'm not even going to say believable, because I don't think any of them are.
No.
Not such an extreme sort of pornified, I've watched far too many girly movies and I think I'm in one. If he wasn't like that, he probably wouldn't have had the ability to pique so many people. But there will be middle road people that saw that appointment that are now fully piqued and think it's absolutely ridiculous. And so I think that is the hope that we have to take from that. As far as big corporations, it's really tricky, isn't it? Because if it's not denting their share price, they don't really care. And I don't know. I don't even know what Forbes is.
What do you think is in it? What do you think is in it for them to push this agenda?
Some jobs
so hard.
Some jobs worth in an HR or a PR department who has to carve out a role for themselves. And if you can be an expert on the latest kind of gender craze civil rights issue, and you can push those policies, then you exert power, and also you make it necessary to be employed. I think it just comes down to really simple acts of greed and incompetence. So,
but to me, it completely destroys any legitimacy that an organization like Forbes, Forbes Power Women's Summit would have. It becomes, which organization can you trust? Which who can you look to for kind of good content when it comes to women in business, women in leadership? Because it just seems that, the FT did it too, I think, with Monroe Bergdorf. It always seems that somehow this agenda gets in on the conversation. It's depressing.
I think they do. I do think it's about like little people. But also I think overwhelmingly they've never cared. Like Forbes, women, powerless or whatever, they've never really cared about women. So who cares if they put a bloke in? They've always thought that women probably aren't that good in business anyway, and it's a bit of a novelty. So do you know what I mean though? It kind of feels like if they ever gave a shiny rat's ass about any women at all, they wouldn't have done this. But so it just makes a mockery of everything they've ever done that's supposedly been about empowering women.
I hear you.
So,
it's so nice to talk to you.
well,
Thanks
and
for everything that you do.
You are more than welcome. Thank you very much for your call.
Good luck, chick. Stand against Eddie Izzard, won't you?
I will stand against Eddie Izzard. I think I've got to do it now. I've said it about 4 times, so I'm going to have to do it. But thank you so much for your call.
We're behind you. Bye.
Cheers. Bye. Oh, I think big corporations still think it. So Emma Salmon, I saw you. I think big corporations still think it makes woke points. I think they probably do, but I don't think they care. I think that's my overwhelming. Hello, good evening. You are through to TERF Talk Tuesday. You can say who you are. You absolutely don't have to. I'm Kellie-Jay. What would you like to say? Did I delete you? Did I delete you? Oh, damn it. I'm so sorry. When you call, I'm a little bit ahead of you. So when you call, normally I can hear myself because YouTube and everywhere is just a little bit behind. So, yeah. Okay. Good day, Turvin. Hello. So Kelly Davies says, hello, please come to Chester. I'm definitely coming to Chester. It's got great shopping, I hear. Good evening. This is TERF Talk Tuesday. You're through to Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say?
Hi. I don't know if you remember me, but I called about 2 weeks ago about my son. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yeah, I called about my son and I was really nervous, and I was saying that he is going through this LGBT thing. Mm-hmm. And you were giving me some advice, and I just wanted to give you an update.
Oh, yes, please.
We've changed the school. So I was doing like little calling around, and we've changed the school. He's going now to religious school, but I spoke to the head teacher, and I explained the situation, and she assured me that there is no way they are pushing this at all on children. It's not like their agenda. And I just wanted to say how relieved I am. I'm still watching on the web, the app the school has, the other school, the first school, how they're going to explain what they're teaching. So if I know any updates, I will let you know what they are teaching and stuff, because I think it's important that the moms know what's going on in those schools. But I just wanted to say that I'm really happy, and he's happy too, and the school is lovely. It's amazing. They're so good. They're doing all these fundraisers and baking and lots of other extra activities that the other school didn't do. So I'm just really relieved that I've changed, and yeah, I really want to say, please, please, please go and try to do the government, go for the because I think it's important, and I think I would support you, and lots of other people. I would vote for you, because that law, that horrific law, needs to be changed, like the Trans Act or whatever it's called. It needs to go, because the kids, they're really going for the kids and for the women.
Yeah.
So please.
Well,
that's all I wanted to say.
I'm going to do it. Thank you so much for your call, and I'm really happy to hear that both you and your son are in a much safer, secure place.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Oh, Nina Caven says, hello from TERF Island. Good evening. You are through to TERF Talk Tuesday. This is Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are. You don't have to, but what would you like to say? Hello.
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 Hello. I'd just like to say I came on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It was fabulous. And to any other women who are a bit scared about attending this kind of stuff, please don't, because the other women that attend are fabulous. You're fabulous, and it was such fun on Sunday.
What made you? Is this the first one you've come to, or have you come to any of our stuff before?
I've been to a few before. I've been to the Reformer Street a lot. I've been on protests.
Mm-hmm.
I come along. I'm a twinny, and I come along with my sister, who's quite little.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I thought I recognised your voice, and then I thought I don't want to say just in case I've got the wrong person, and that would be really terrible if I was like, "Oh yeah, are you this person?" But yes, hi.
Hello. That's all I really wanted to say, because I don't want to take up time from other women that are ringing in.
Oh well, you're always welcome.
Brilliant. And yeah, thanks for all you do, and it's just affirming, I think, to go along and meet other people who are sane. That's all I can say.
It's quite true, isn't it? Just to be able to say to someone, well, they're not women, or I think he's a man, and know that you can have that conversation without any sort of hesitation or fear. But it's always lovely to see you. Coming on Sunday?
Oh yes.
Okay, lovely. Good. I'll go to the pub this time. All right. See you soon.
All right. Yeah.
Cheers. Bye. We do have. I'm very proud to say that what we have at our events are genuine grassroots, no qualification, no are you good enough, no political purity, nothing. We have built like a genuine community of women and some men, but majority women that come together because they want to speak about what is happening to women, right? That's the reason they're there. They are not interested in finding division. And even if they do, they kind of have conversations about it. People have conversations about things they don't agree with, or agree on, rather. And there's no denouncing. Nobody's expected to denounce anyone. Nobody's expected to shun anybody in a bid for loyalty or purity, or there's none of this stuff. It's truly just a very magic collective of people. And often people come on their own and they say that they're a bit worried about it. And they come on their own and they have an amazing time. Good evening. You are through to TERF Talk Tuesday. This is Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What is your comment?
Hiya. So my name's Mandy Clare. I'm calling from Chester area in Cheshire.
Hello.
UK. Hiya. So I'm a local councillor.
Yeah.
I was in the Labour Party, but I'm independent now. And I've been taking on the leadership of the council over a few different things, including sort of Drag Queen Story Hour, and the council hosting that as part of their family Pride Day event.
Ooh.
And also the guidance that the council has given to schools in the borough, which is it's based on Mermaid's sort of guidance and Jaya's and gendered intelligence. And it's basically just encouraging schools to affirm kids, to not necessarily share with parents if the child doesn't want them to, about their questioning their gender and that kind of thing. So I've been yelled at, I've been called names by other councillors, including online. The police aren't remotely interested, even though sort of one of the other councillors had said that people should keep the children away from me.
Jesus Christ.
Has said that if a drag queen gets beaten up or attacked that in our area, that it will basically be my fault. It's been really, really vicious. But I've got other councillors now that are starting to become interested in maybe joining forces to speak up against this locally.
Wow.
So what I've done is I've started, and this was inspired by you, because you said, if not you, then who? And I'd been thinking about doing this for a while, but I was busy with other things and stressed because of the bullying and everything. But I just thought, well, yeah, we need a network for councillors who are concerned about what's happening with kids within schools, that don't feel that they can put their name to this ideology within the council, and who need to sort of share information with other councillors so that we can get more confident to speak up in full council, because it's a really scary thing to do, to be a lone voice in the council chamber with everybody kind of labelling you as transphobic, bigoted, and all of the other things that get thrown at you. So we've started up a new network. We're on Twitter. We're called @Care Councillors. And
I'm going to type that in the chat. Let me type it in I'm going to type it while you
Thank
say
you.
it. So care counsellors, is that
At
right?
care counsellors, yeah. And then the email is counsellorswhocare@gmail.com. So if there's any counsellors, it's cross-party, because I don't care what people's other politics are. It doesn't really matter. This is, as you say, the house is on fire.
Yeah.
And people need to be speaking up. And if you're a counsellor, you've got a huge amount of influence on what guidance is given out to schools,
Wow.
whether staff are under pressure to share their pronouns, whether we've got single space services for women, single sex spaces and services, what guidance is given to schools, and whether we host things like Drag Queen Story Hour, whether we promote them and fund them. And it's really, really important that we join together, whatever our politics are on this issue at the local level, because we've got quite a lot of power.
This is amazing. How difficult is it to become a counsellor?
Well, I mean, you just have to make yourself present. You have to make sure that you're willing to sort of do the leafleting and turn up to events and things like that. Make sure you've got some publicity.
Mm-hmm.
It's helpful if you've got some kind of a manifesto, but like what you're talking about doing, you could do at the national level. You could get a group of people who are interested in standing as MPs.
Yeah.
And you could do a similar thing at the local level. You could have a really simple manifesto which looks at things like respecting democracy, not, as opposed to a personal abuse, supports women's rights. You could keep it actually very general and very simple.
Yeah.
Principles that most people from most political backgrounds could sign up to, and try and clean up politics a little bit at the same time. So yeah.
Wow. I'm going to take advice from you then. So I'll be writing to you for a step-by-step guide on how we take over the country.
I think we absolutely should. It's about time the women did that, and the men that support the women as well. But I want to say thanks to you, because your inspiration has been incredible. You're so strong. You're so small, and yet you stand there fearlessly, in a flipping pink jumpsuit. With you're a target. You must be a target for violence and aggression, and yet you just carry on. And I'm so thankful to you for doing that. So I just wanted to say that as well.
Oh, you're very welcome. That's really kind, and well done to you. Phenomenal work. Really brave. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kelly. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Good evening. You are through to TERF Talk Tuesday. This is Kellie-Jay. You don't have to say who you are. You can if you want. What would you like to say?
Oh, Kelly, it's Tracy from Plymouth.
Hi, Tracy.
Hello. I'm so nervous.
That's all right. We're friends. It's just me and you.
I know. It's I wanted to thank you very sincerely, because I was I got very mentally unwell during the lockdowns, and having your videos was one of the only things that sort of kept me going. And then I managed to get myself down to the Lancet and vaguely talk to people from, a distance. But it was really important that I did that. I got coached down from Plymouth, and and then I started coming to I've been to one or two of the Sunday speakers' corners, and that's where I spoke to one or two people, and then I've met, it's making that network, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's such an isolating experience, and I'm in Plymouth now, and I've just please go for are you going to go for MP?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, that's so exciting. That when I heard that was, I've seen you face to face, and I just go like almost mute. I can barely talk. But I was there Sunday. I got the coach down from Plymouth Saturday night, and then I got the coach back Sunday, and it was just so important to be there. But just in case anyone's listening, it's that network and the isolation, and I met really lovely lady, and then what we did from that, Kelly, is that I meet up with them on Zoom every couple of weeks.
Oh.
For like a little bit of emotional support, and that has seen me through some really, really like difficult times, because not only this, because it's really bad down here, and
and I've done what I can where I can, and I've tried because, you know, I've had my issues, and then I tried to do some voluntary work, and then all the trans stuff, and then we're going to do the trans teaching, and then I just, you know what, and I thought, if I was in a job now, could I swap? Because I feel like suffocated most of the time because I can't say what I need to say.
Yeah.
But I was in this room, and the, you know, the trans dad was in the room, and I'd had enough. I'd had it up to, and I went, I'm not coming. I'm not coming. I've said it out loud, and then once I said it out loud, I knew, you know, that all bets were off really, and somebody was saying this and somebody saying that, and I said, no, I don't have to think that. I do not have to. I don't have to. It's that no.
Wow.
It's for me because you know what? Like I was never taught to say no from a young age, and that led me into all sorts of like abusive situations, and that's what I'm coming out the other side of now. So I listened to a lot of the speeches back on live stream yesterday, and it's helping me process that, like, because you know, they control through shame.
Yes.
I still feel that shame, but I was listening. I was really listening to, you know, like how they use shame to control, and I'm getting a little bit braver in some situations, and I just wanted to thank you, because I've seen, you know, like how some of it's coming back, and I'm very grateful to you, and honestly, just hearing then that you were going to stand against Eddie Izzard, I swear to you, I actually started crying because because it's just I can't quite believe it sometimes. I watched this man talk about woke, and he said how he felt like his soul was being raped, and honestly, some days I just feel like this thing is strangling me, you know, because I can't. And then when I got to you on Sunday, and when I, you know, like once I stood and once people started speaking, I felt that sort of like I felt my throat clear, because women, they were speaking up, and I felt I had to keep coming back though, because I was getting quite anxious. But that solidarity and just that, like, for me, even listening to you on a Tuesday night and not being able to ring up, I was just getting so upset with myself that I couldn't do it. And it's that, you know, when you know that you need to be doing something, but you can't, because I've been paralysed in fear, and it's just been. But I've had those like lovely moments with the women that I've met through the Sunday, and all that has been so good and so positive and so helpful. And thank you so very, very much.
Oh,
like,
you're
from
so
the bottom
welcome.
of my heart, but from the bottom of my heart, I mean that.
Well, I remember you emailing me before you came to the first speaker's corner, because you were anxious, and I knew when I met you, I knew just how much it took for you to actually come. And so I am really, really grateful. I feel really pleased that I had something tiny, that I had something tiny to do with you. And now listening to you on the phone, I mean, wow, you've come really far. I'm really, really proud of you. Thank you so much for calling.
Just in case there's anybody else listening who's just struggling with that little tiny bit and needing that little, you know, just it's the small actions, isn't it?
It is. But for you, that was absolutely massive, and so well done.
No, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. I loved that. I just absolutely loved that, especially when I got back home, because I can process it better when I'm away from it.
Yeah.
And looking at, you know, the dinosaurs on the David Lammy, was it on Wikipedia? Somebody, when you looked up David Lammy, it had all the dinosaurs.
Well,
do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. It's really lovely to hear from you, Tracy, and I do hope to see you very soon.
You will. Thank you so much.
Cheers, lovely. Bye.
Bye.
Ah, the power of women. I'm telling you, the power of us. Look at us. Look at what we can do. Jesus, we can help. We can help each other. And I don't think Tracy is alone in feeling kind of claustrophobic and suffocating by this absolute madness. I think loads of us feel like that. And it's just so important that, like she said, she's now got a network of people because she came to these events. And I'm telling you now, I've been to many events. There is nothing that feels quite so uplifting. No stuffy rooms, no special important people. I mean, I'm not saying that special and important people aren't always at our events, because every single woman that listens and every single woman that speaks and every single woman that shares is a really special and important woman. But there are no red carpet kind of royalty. There's no one that knows any better than you about the way that you want to live your life. There is nobody. And it just is magnificent. Like sometimes, I'm sat there. So I was listening to, and we have loads of extraordinarily intelligent women that come to Speaker's Corner. Good evening. You are through to TERF Talk Tuesday. You can say who you are. You don't have to. I'm Kellie-Jay. What would you like to say?
Hey, Kelly.
Hi.
Just wanted to say, you look fabulous, darling, in that pink jumpsuit on Sunday.
Well, thanks very much.
You look amazing and just radiant, and you just owning it, and just to say, it is in the stars, girl. It is aligned. You have to do this. And I think I kind of jumped out of my seat a moment ago when you mentioned, or someone mentioned Eddie Izzard, because I kind of, red flagged him a while ago. And I was like, I just didn't feel. I remember I watched an interview with him and Rose McGowan was on the show, and of course her situation was so huge and her pain, and somehow at the end of her section of the interview, he kind of made it about himself slightly, and I just sort of detected this twinge of kind of him sort of honing in on her and challenging her, and my misogyny detector went like through the roof, and I was like, no, this is not good. And the more if I suddenly see him on like the Lorraine show, and like she was crying about him, and he's sort of gotten into that. He's got like female supporters, but it's like they don't realize that, like it's. And when you said narcissistic, I was like, oh my god, that's the word. How did I miss it? So I feel like you're meant to do this, and you just have to go for it. Like you've got the power, the strength. Like every time I see you on YouTube, I'm just like, oh my god. She's
Well, I think with Izzard, a long time ago, he was in a documentary. So when he wasn't very old. I don't think he was he still had sort of floppy, dark blonde hair. So it's before he sort of went all peroxide. And he said, I think he was copying my look, but but anyway, before he looked like what he looked like when he was on stage, he was talking about transvesticism, and he talked about missing his mum and looking for her everywhere. And I do think that's his kind of fetish. And I think he lost his mother when he was 5. And so if you look for your mother everywhere, I think that's
so you
that's
think
part
it's
of
pretty it's very emotionally linked, basically.
Yeah, but then fetishes can be still linked to emotion. I know someone who's got a foot fetish because his mother ignored him and somebody used to kick him under a table. So I'm not saying that all roots to fetish are or I'm not saying that just because it's a loss of his mother that it isn't also a pornified vile parody of woman. But
yes,
I think that's.
But you've just got to be. It's just you've got to be careful how you angle this stuff, especially if you have a platform. And like, for example, I'm on the autistic spectrum, so I've got Asperger's high functioning, and I've suffered from all those problems of like thinking you're female, and they might be legitimate things, and I can see those things in him too. I don't know if he's got those conditions, but what really concerns me is when someone is using something that kind of, can construct this sort of, as it's done, like, because it's gone too far with what's happened with the GRA and stuff, like people's realities that are not kind of, they're not the norm, they've sort of taken over. And I just find it very pernicious if somebody, I'm not trying to say he's being pernicious, but I'm trying to say it is pernicious if, you're taking your, emotions and what's going on in your world and stuff like that, which you haven't yet resolved with like a good therapist, and then you're kind of projecting it into the public, and then you're getting like people on your side. And I do sympathize with what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you can't. I just think it's dangerous for him to use his platform basically for his own unresolved issues. And and I do see that narcissism. I do see that, like, he wants to be on a certain level as other powerful women. I just get this vibe, and I just think no. I think you're I think you're helping me say no.
I think it's really hateful to think that one can just decide they are a woman. I think it's a really hateful thing to do, and it's just deeply misogynist. But well,
absolutely. Like, wow.
I mean, I'll have to decide what sort of jumpsuit I'll be wearing when I stand.
You know what? It's so good. I mean, you know, maybe you should go into fashion one day. Like, you could just be like, I've been there, I've done that. I think, you know, here's the right colors that you should choose. Maybe yellow. Yellow could be quite.
I've got a yellow jumpsuit hanging in my wardrobe. Actually, I've got a bright yellow jumpsuit hanging in my wardrobe.
In the stars, Kellie-Jay.
It's really lovely to talk to you. Thank you so much for calling.
All power to you, girl. All power to you.
Cheers.
And have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Let's have a look. Oh, here we go. Patsy Ryan. I've heard great things from women I know well who attended the SFW, Standing for Women rally in Brighton at the weekend. I've also read positive feedback from other women who spoke or attended, and I'm pleased about that. But why did you allow, enable, or not prevent? Let's see if I can see that. Oh, sorry. They all amount to the same outcome. The live streaming by Hearts of Oak, because it's a free speech event. And I want as many people as possible to see the messages that women deliver. And I would be some crazed hypocrite if I decided that whoever came and wanted to film what we were doing, I wouldn't have cared if it was a TRA channel. The more people that understand what is happening to women and girls, and even some people tainted by politics that you might not like, and I'm not persuaded by what other people think. I couldn't care less what anybody thinks about anybody that stands next to me, records me, shares what I'm saying. Like, I'm 48 years old. I'm way past being bullied into who I do not associate with, who I do not stand in the same room with. You know, Hitler said good morning, and I still say it. And weirdly, it doesn't make me a Nazi. So I don't care about the women who try to shame other women, who ask for women to denounce women. It's just like, come on now. These things only matter if you let it. I don't care what TRAs think about optics. I don't care about what men and women who stand and promote harm to children. I don't care what they think about the people that I talk to, stand next to, or are recorded by. Hello, good evening. This is Kellie-Jay. You can say who you like. You don't have to. What would you like to say?
Oh, hello, Kellie-Jay. My name is Angela. I went to the event on Sunday, and I wanted to congratulate you on a very fantastic event. It was really remarkable. I only gave a very short speech. I was quite nervous on the day, and I just didn't explain why I wanted to change the law, because I think I was probably very nervous at the time. Even talking to you now, I'm quite nervous. So
well,
I don't normally have a big platform.
Do you want to say some more about the why you want to change the law?
Yeah, so I just wanted to clarify the reasons why I wanted to see the law change. I didn't realise that the law had changed until a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So I wasn't actually aware of it. And when I read about the law and realised that there was a legal fiction that, I suddenly realised that the law isn't based on facts and reality. And whilst women, it took women, decades, hundreds of years to get their rights. Even up until 1984, women couldn't even compete in the marathon at the Olympics. And then suddenly you have legislation which, it's not about gender, it's about biological sex, where men, males and females, can change their biological sex on their birth certificate. And for me, what's important is the truth. And that isn't true. People can't change their biological sex.
Yeah, quite.
And why politicians allowed a legal fiction to exist is very worrying for me.
Yeah. Have you read any Hansard? So around sort of 1998, they started talking about it. In fact, they've talked about it before, but Norman Tebbit, David Lammy was instrumental in the GRA, but Norman Tebbit was he raised some really interesting questions about, well, what about prisons? And are we really saying that we will call a man with a beard a woman? And it was totally dismissed as if that was the most preposterous, stupid thing ever. It would just be for a tiny number of people calling themselves transsexuals who would have full kind of body mutilation, cosmetic surgery, and it just wouldn't happen. And I think those people that sort of were the architects back then, they had no idea what was coming.
Well, I just think that some of these politicians, particularly in the Labour Party, I haven't been a member of the Labour Party ever myself, but I have voted for Labour in the past, but I wouldn't ever dream to do so at the current time with such politicians that don't even know or understand biological facts. There are many in the Labour Party that don't. They're so cowardly that they can't even speak the truth. And you see it in the Green Party, in the Liberal Party, even in the Conservative Party at times as well. And that was quite funny. I wrote to my MP asking, for her to define what a woman was. Not that I didn't think she knew the answer, but to see if she'd come out with a straight answer.
Yes.
But I did also write to her about all the trans issues, and she's a Conservative MP, but she comes back and saying, well, the law is good as it stands, and I don't believe it is. It allows now what we have is not even that they need to have the gender recognition certificate. Yeah. They can just self-ID as the opposite sex. Men can self-ID as women and end up in a prison, as a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
A judge sent a male to a woman's prison after he sexually assaulted 7 children, 5 of which were girls. And it's crazy that this situation has been allowed to happen. And it's not just in prisons, obviously it's about children. And the fact that I'm glad that the Tavistock Clinic is being closed, and that, a conveyor belt system for children, and it's in the schools, within all the institutions, and it's going to take quite a long time to untangle ourselves out of this situation, because the government, including this government, and not this, under Liz Truss, she's just really elected, but this government, the Conservatives even, supported Stonewall, gave them funding, and I could imagine that if Labour or Green Party or Liberals win next general election, it'll be even worse.
Yeah.
So we're in a very difficult position. But if you stand as MP, I will support you and I'll come along even to Sheffield and and give out leaflets on your behalf,
Well,
so
thank
any
you
help
very
that you
much.
want.
I'm absolutely going to hold you to that, Angela. So you better get
Oh
some
yes,
warm
I will.
boots.
I will.
You better
for
get some
sure.
walking boots. But it's lovely to talk to you, and I do hope to see you. This Sunday, it's Speaker's Corner. But if you don't make that one, oh, great. Look forward to it.
Yeah, you take care, and thank you very much for all that you do. You've been great, in this campaign. And I really, really appreciate and admire all that you do. So well done on you.
Thank you very much indeed. Nice to talk to you.
Take care.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. I'm going to take... No, it's 9:20. Super chat, 20 British pounds. Watched you yesterday, an absolute awe. Thanks and thanks and thanks again for all you do. Well, you are welcome, CT. You are very welcome. It was just a phenomenal. It was just Sunday was just amazing. We had just the perfect ingredients. We had really great women. Fantastic speakers. We didn't have a single man that spoke. We had male support, however, but majority women who were having none of it. We had Iris and Jane, who's coordinated the whole of the amazing stewards. I mean, these stewards, right, they come to the event, hear a damn word that anybody is saying. They don't hear anything that anyone's talking about, none of the speeches. They're on the front line of any abuse that gets shouted at us. They got pushed, just really, really totally indebted. What amazing women. So any steward, if you come to Speaker's Corner on Sunday, then it will be my turn to buy around. And thank you very, very much to each and every one of them. And we know that Ada also had that racist, horrible TRA throw glitter in her dreads. And she was called over to do it, which I would say was a racially motivated hate crime. And I don't even really believe in hate crimes, but I'm more than happy while we have them to use them against that particular privileged middle class brat. What else did I have to say? We also had a documentary film crew. Now, I don't know the documentary film crew that were here on Friday and on Saturday with me. And then they're not my, I'm going to be in a documentary, I assume, if it gets made. But I didn't know what side they were on. They were really lovely, professional, just really lovely people. I have no idea whether they think a trans woman is a woman because she's a professional, the director, and as were her crew. And so I don't know. I can't imagine if she was kind of not persuaded by our arguments before the meeting on Sunday. I'm wondering whether by the end of filming at that event, she'd have a different opinion because they were just horrendous, the TRAs. The camera lady was not much taller than myself and a lot thinner. And when she was stood on a plinth filming, they put flags and everything up against her so she couldn't film. I mean, nothing says to me I'm a bad person more than trying to stop a documentary film crew that you assume is against you. Might not have even, for all I know, the whole crew were TRAs. I have no idea. I have no idea whether they think I'm the most evil person on this earth or nothing or the most incredible. I have no idea what they thought of me. But the TRAs just assumed that that they were on my side. And so maybe that balanced documentary is going to be a little bit more difficult to make. Anyway, look, if you come along to Speaker's Corner, because you know that it's going to be amazing, then I promise we will win. If you can stand with great courage and look forward to these coming in. They are amazing. We've got woman, we've got the Diamante definition, and you'll be able to buy them in long sleeve t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodie, v-neck, and round neck. So there's a little something for everyone. Little something for everyone. Don't say that I'm not considerate. If you can join in on the sparkles, then I promise we will win. If you can be the billboard, if you can like, share, and subscribe, if you can get yourself a little mug to match the corner. And also now on the UK store is Let Women Speak t-shirt. If you can do all of those things, then I promise we will win. I want to say thank you very much to everybody that called in tonight. Really, it just is really humbling that to be part of this and to hear how some of you look. I find this easy, right? I come and talk, and I find this really easy. I find it easy to talk. I find it easy to go and stand in front of a group of people with a microphone. It's not brave for me. It's something that I find really easy to do. But someone like Tracy, who called in tonight, and the lady who called in about her son, and all of you, actually, I know for some of you, just coming out and standing, even not in a controversial situation, is a really big, massive thing for you to do. And I never take it for granted. And I'm always totally delighted when any of you turn up, because I think every single one of us has the capacity with every single interaction to totally change something for somebody. There was a lady that came to Speaker's Corner, really, really nervous. She lived miles away, and she came to Speaker's Corner, and 2 people just said hello to her, and that just totally changed the way she felt about everything. I feel like I'm like at the end of a Christmas movie or something, but I promise you, you have the capacity to change somebody's life with something simple as a sticker. You might make somebody who's feeling really crappy and isolated and like they're going crazy, like there is a boot upon their neck, that they can't breathe for the amount of dishonesty that they're supposed to believe in. They see that sticker and it changes everything. It sounds so ridiculous, but I promise you it's true. Look, if you can be the billboard, if you can make the difference in somebody else's life, if you can make your life be more about the lives of others than your own, then I promise we will win. If you can push the differences aside and even fight for the rights of those that want you to denounce me, then I promise we will win. And do you know why else we're going to win? Eddie Izzard, because I never lose.